Hi, I'm Martyn Drake, and this is a Profit on Purpose interview with Sharron McIndoe from the National Autistic Society. So Sharron is the head of Training, Consultancy and Conferences for the NAS. Welcome, Sharron, it's great to have you here.
Thanks, Martyn, nice to see you again.
So it might be useful to explain that mouthful of a title. So what is it that your team actually do? Why does your team exist within the NAS?
Okay, so the team's come about as a result of the NAS developing a new 5-year strategy, and within that strategy there is a pillar of work that's called supporting professionals. So we are quite a large team, we're 35 strong. We work with professionals across a number of different sectors, ranging from local authorities, healthcare, criminal justice sector, education, etc., to build their knowledge, to build their awareness of autism, and to enable them to better support people with autism, their families and their carers. We're also working with international customers as well, looking to set up schools, looking to build their knowledge, understand best practice in the UK, that they can roll out good programmes and better support for people in their own countries.
Okay, so is this a charitable activity or is it a commercial activity? How does it work?
We operate as a commercial department within the NAS as a charity. So I suppose you could say that we are a small business, but with a social purpose.
So small business being?
This year we're aiming at generating an income of over 1.5 million, and we're looking at generating a surplus as well, which is different to the way that we used to operate. We all work in the charity sector for a reason. Most of us is because we want to make a difference in one way or another. I think a lot of the time we give away a lot of our intellectual property because we think, oh, we're a charity, that's what we're about, that's what we have to do. We can still get out there the impact and make a change and make a difference, but there is a value and we should be charging for that. We need to generate unrestricted income that the charity can use across other areas to again support people with autism, whether that's supporting people in our services, whether that's about providing charitable services like befriending, like social groups, like providing seminars for families. And it means that we're not reliant on government funding, we're not reliant on anybody else, we're doing this ourselves, so we're self-sustaining.
So we first met probably about 18 months ago, I think, when you were first setting up, and at the time you were looking to try and bring in some help to develop a more professional sales capability within your team to actually make this happen. So firstly, why did you decide that that's what you needed, and secondly, how has that worked for you?
I think as a team, there's a massive amount of autism expertise within the team, a fabulous team. And we have already been doing a lot of work with our kind of customer base. But what we needed to do was to formalise that and really to develop a roadmap for the way forward so that we could achieve these targets and our ambitions. So what you helped us do was to kind of put consistent language into what we were doing in the team, so that sales was no longer a dirty word amongst us, because everybody was just slightly, ooh, what sales? It sounds a bit like double glazing, doesn't it? And everybody was a little bit afraid of being perceived in that kind of stereotype. With your help, we realised that our approach is very much about going and listening to customers. It's about building those relationships. It's understanding the challenge and the problems that they have, and then putting together solutions from the great services that we have that will solve those problems. It's a team effort. We work together with our customers because they want to provide a service as much as we want to make a difference to people. So win-win.
I think you're absolutely right that people do have a very stereotypical view about what sales is, whether it's somewhere from Arthur Daly to the Wolf of Wall Street, when actually it really needs to be about understanding what the real problem is and really drawing that out and helping the customer find the right solution, the solution that's right for them, which is, if you can provide that, that's great. but if your team are really focused on the value that they add, the return on investment that your customers are going to get if it's a commercial transaction, then that's exactly the right kind of mind. Does that make it any easier in terms of the cultural fit of a commercial team within a charitable organisation?
Yeah, I think so. I think initially when we set off, we were almost imagining cold calling, door knocking, the kind of man in a trench coat, opening and have a look at the wares. It's nothing like that, and I think we've all relaxed much more into how we approach our customers, developing new business, and it's clearly working because we're increasing the amount of work that we're getting. We've improved our customer journey. We're increasing our margins on some of the work that we're doing. It's obviously working.
So what would you say has been, for you, the biggest learning that you've had through this journey?
Not to be afraid of having... There's a value to what we're offering. And I think as a charity, often we've been a little bit, we can't ask for money for that. We're a charity, we should be providing everything for free. And in the really tough economic climate and the tough times that we've gone through, being creative, being innovative, realising there's a value to the service that we have and that we can charge for that. And there's a huge customer base out there willing to pay for it.
Yeah. What advice would you give to other people in other organisations in your position who are looking to develop this kind of capability, this kind of business, who are looking to commercialise, if you like, their knowledge and their insights?
I think it's about following a fairly formal process. You need to understand what you have to offer. You need to understand who your customer base are. You need to understand things like pricing and marketing, etc. You need to make sure that your team has got the skills to do what you're asking them to do. And then alongside that kind of formal piece is be creative, be innovative, dip your toe in the pond. If it doesn't work, what's the worst thing, that can happen? You move on to the next thing, but keep at it, keep trying. It's about positive mental attitude, Martyn. There is nothing that you can't do if you haven't got that, if you've got a positive mental attitude.
Brilliant. Stay positive. Thank you very much for joining us, Sharron. That was fantastic.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Martyn.